If you hear galloping hooves on the horizon, it is more likely to be a horse or a unicorn. Have you observed or interacted with a supernatural entity? Or do you know someone who believes they have? Was it really something not of this physical world? Or was it simply a case of mistaken identity? Was it naturally occurring events? Sometimes even the most well-meaning of us might accidentally act in such a way as to unintentionally cause harm to another. And I see this quite often among those in paranormal discussions. If our team or any other is called to investigate a haunting, on the long list of things it might possibly be, can you guess where ghost or other supernatural being appears on that list? In absolute last place. Whatever it is causing the concerns, the source of the disturbances is nearly always going to have a perfectly rational, reasonable, logical, scientific explanation. So the job of a legitimate paranormal investigator isn't to prove something is a ghost. I mean, that would be easy. Oh my goodness, the light is flickering, it must be a ghost. No, our job is to disprove it. We're looking for the scientific explanation behind the events and experiences of those involved. It's only if, after our due diligence, no such explanation can be found that we may even begin to imagine it could be something supernatural in origin. This is important because we have a responsibility to ensure those involved aren't in some danger of harm from some physical or mental source. Any alleged haunting, long before it might be a ghost, is more likely to be caused by something logical, known, and solvable. Pareidolia. This is a psychological phenomenon where the brain perceives a familiar pattern in random or vague stimuli. For example, people often see faces or shapes in clouds or other random designs. In the context of ghost sightings, pareidolia could cause someone to see a face or figure in a dark corner or in a reflection and then believe it's a ghost. Sleep paralysis. And this is a condition where the brain is awake but the body is paralyzed. This often occurs during the transition between sleep and wakefulness. People experiencing sleep paralysis may believe they see or hear things that are not actually there, interpreting these visions as ghostly apparitions or shadow people. Delusional disorder. This is a mental illness where a person has fixed false beliefs that are not based in reality. These beliefs can be about a wide range of topics, including ghosts or other paranormal phenomena. People with delusional disorder may interpret random events as evidence of their delusions. And post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. This is a condition that can occur after a traumatic event. People with PTSD may experience flashbacks or intrusive thoughts about the traumatic event. In some cases, these flashbacks or thoughts may involve ghostly or paranormal experiences that they believe are related to the trauma. And schizophrenia. This is a mental illness that affects a person's ability to think, feel, or behave clearly. People with schizophrenia may experience hallucinations, delusions, and disordered thinking. These symptoms can sometimes involve ghostly or paranormal experiences. And BPD, borderline personality disorder. This is a mental illness characterized by intense emotions and unstable relationships. People with BPD may experience paranoia or dissociative symptoms, which can sometimes involve believing in ghosts or other paranormal phenomenon. Or a brain tumor. These could result in a wide range of symptoms, and some might be incorrectly interpreted as paranormal activity, including hallucinations, changes in perception, and altered mental states. In some cases, people with brain tumors may report seeing or hearing ghosts, or may feel like they are being followed or watched. In addition to these, there are numerous explainable external factors, including infrasound. This is a low-frequency sound that is below the range of human hearing. In paranormal investigation, large industrial fans have been found to produce these effects. In certain circumstances, exposure to infrasound can cause feelings of unease or anxiety that may be incorrectly interpreted as a ghostly presence. Or carbon monoxide poisoning. Exposure to carbon monoxide can cause a range of symptoms, including hallucinations and confusion. In some cases, people who are exposed to high levels of carbon monoxide may report seeing or hearing ghosts. This can also even result in death if not addressed and the source of the poisoning corrected. So, if you believe you are being haunted, would you rather have actual ghost hunters come and discover the source of your concerns? Because what if it isn't a ghost? What if it's a medical issue? Or would you rather have Zach Baggins come and tell you there's a demon in your closet, only for you to die later of carbon monoxide poisoning? Truth is important. This is why we've recently uploaded several videos on the importance of achieving and collecting objectively true and accurate evidence. According to a Gallup survey conducted in 2005, approximately 32% of Americans believe in ghosts. Another survey conducted by Chapman University in 2017 found that 52.3% of Americans believed in some form of paranormal phenomenon, including ghosts. And in the United States, an estimated 26% of those ages 18 and older suffer from a diagnosable mental disorder. Many of those have not been medically diagnosed. And of those who have, many are not being treated for their illness. This results in a particularly large population of vulnerable people. And all of those vulnerable people are especially susceptible to emotional and spiritual manipulation. First, to be clear, a belief in ghosts or other supernatural entities or belief in supernatural abilities is not an indication of mental illness. Any belief, as long as it isn't interfering with your ability to perform normal daily functions and it isn't harming you or another person, it's probably okay. And if you are among the roughly 75% of Americans who do not struggle with your mental health, I believe there is a responsibility to protect those who do. Remember, as long as our beliefs do not harm ourselves or others, we're okay, right? I regularly encounter people who think they are being attacked by a supernatural entity, from the belief that a demon is trying to have sex with them to a ghost of an angry spirit seeking to harm them. I tried to help a man who was terrified of the alleged sex demon that he believed was trying to kill him. And while I'm trying to help him with rational explanation, he's hearing from others who are feeding into his worst fears. Another recent incident involved a very distraught man who was terrified by a belief that the spirit of his unborn baby brother from 40 years ago was stalking him and seeking revenge. Now let's ask ourselves, what is more likely? That an imaginary supernatural being from folklore is craving some guy's man meat, or he's suffering from the effects of sleep paralysis hallucinations. Sleep paralysis is a sleeping disorder typically brought on by stress, and even chronic episodes are generally curable through one or more simple and easily available solutions. Unless, of course, you actually think it's a demon. Thinking it's a demon will unnecessarily prolong your suffering and may increase the episodes. And again, what is more likely? That the spirit of your unborn baby brother waited 40 years to begin tormenting you, or that there might be an easier answer, possibly even an answer that would require your immediate attention, such as a carbon monoxide leak or untreated mental illness. Many mental illnesses don't become known until later in life. In both examples, would you rather see those individuals continue to suffer through false assumptions leading to more harm? Or would you rather see them free of their pain and worry and able to live a long, healthy life without such supernatural worries? That simple question must be asked each and every time we encounter someone talking about demons or evil spirits. There are far too many people, and even product manufacturers and production companies, who exist for the sole purpose of exploiting those individuals and turning a profit in the process. Does anyone really think the sellers of those ghost hunting phone apps actually believe that their little computer game phone app is actually speaking to the dead? Yet I encounter people on a regular basis who miss the fine print stating for entertainment purposes only, and they really believe their phone is talking to dead people. When a troubled person shares their story of a perceived harmful supernatural experience and is met with irresponsible individuals feeding into their harmful superstitious beliefs, I become incredibly irate. I'm not sure if those feeding into the superstitions really think they're helping, or maybe they just don't realize the harm they're contributing. All I see is the matter growing worse and possibly setting up a much larger and more complicated matter. And that could result in serious psychological harm, self-medicating substance abuse, or in the worst cases, suicide. The prevalence of untreated or undiagnosed mental illness in the United States is a complex issue and difficult to accurately quantify. However, there are some estimates based on research and surveys. According to a 2019 report by the National Alliance on Mental Illness, approximately 45% of adults with a mental illness received treatment in the past year, which means that 55% did not receive any treatment. This could be due to various factors, including lack of access to mental health services, stigma, or simply not recognizing the need for treatment. Though there is no clear or direct correlation between belief in ghosts and mental illness, as mentioned earlier, some mental illnesses can contribute to misinterpreting or incorrectly perceiving events in a way that seems paranormal. None of us need to abandon our beliefs in the supernatural. All we need to do is act responsibly with those beliefs and try to shield the most vulnerable among us from the parasites and predators turning a profit on scaring vulnerable people. I hope we can just all think twice before jumping to conclusions. If you hear galloping hooves on the horizon, it is more likely to be a horse or a unicorn, and that's all I'm asking. Well, I hope this video has been thought-provoking and helpful. If so, please hit that like button. And if this is your first time here, please subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future uploads. And thanks for watching.